Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is D the Typhoon Splosion.
And this is, oh my god, I cannot believe for the third week in a row I forgot to come up with a nickname, even though last week I explicitly said I would not forget. I forgot. Forget about me. I don't deserve to live. Matt, what's yours?
This
Modi
is
the Forgetful.
Matt with explosive diarrhea.
Matt the Explosive D-Bomb. Sounds about right.
Explosive
Okay,
D-bomb.
I wish we didn't go to Matt. We should have just skipped him too.
That's the only thing I had to contribute for this episode. Goodbye, guys.
And we are talking about Trigun Stampede episode 5 and 6. What did you guys think?
I thought they were better than 3 and 4.
Definitely.
And
Same.
I definitely think if the show keeps going on this trend, it's going to be very good by the time it ends.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping.
This show is good, but unfortunately, it's an anime. Everything that's not an anime about this show is great.
So,
As far as like writing goes, visually it's stunning.
Yes. So this is the thing I find interesting about this show, and this is something I'm kind of realizing. This show has a incredibly boring environment, but a very interesting world.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of the characters, the people, the institutions, and how it works is very interesting. I just do not like the environment that it takes place in. In fact, I'll say that some of the cities are really interesting, but the environment it exists in is so dull to me.
Yeah, I really like the sequence with the essentially what is like a sand crawler.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that sequence. I thought it was cool. I liked the idea of that, like sort of almost like that's how you get around in this world. Although why wouldn't you use a ship? I don't know enough about the world to be like, why wouldn't you just use a ship? But that's fine. I thought that was neat.
I'll also say that, again, I really feel like a lot of the villains of the week, I feel like the more important a villain is, the least interesting they become. Like, I really liked Rollo. Yeah. I really enjoyed Little Brother Coon, white-haired McRuby weapon user. That's the other thing. This feels like it feels like if Ruby had an absurd amount of polish to it.
That's the thing. You're right. Like the graph of like the more plot important the character is, as that goes up, the amount of how fucking obnoxious and boring they are also goes up. Because the show is like, oh, we have our villains of the week. They're just goofy, silly guys, and that's what I want. That's what I want in your crazy, stupid world with like your weird Western thing. I want crazy, weird villains that like have like machine guns for hands or whatever. But then when they're like main plot villains, they're super serious and edgy and cool. And it's like, no, they're not. They're dumb. They're stupid, and they don't realize that they're stupid, and you don't realize that they're stupid. Admit that they're stupid, and fucking get rid of them.
I want more of my machine gun fan guy with skull face. Okay, come on. I like that stuff. I like the guy who's dual wielding crosses that turn into dual double sided machine guns. I feel like that is a needlessly hard weapon to use. Like, imagine your finger slips and you just fill yourself up with bullets.
Just terribly designed weapon, but so cool.
Yeah.
Just like, I hold this like cube. And that's your weapon. It would be so hard to like get a grip on that shit.
I'm mad his weapon makes sense. I wanted his gun. I want his gun to be a sword that also turns into like 5 separate guns. Okay,
it's like a giant V.
Yeah.
Modi, you're gonna say something?
I forgot actually.
You were gonna like make a transition point between like how we didn't like the actual villains.
Oh,
of the show.
Oh, actually, yeah, it wasn't really a transition point. I was just gonna like add on something because you were talking about you were talking about the villain, the more important villains being too serious, and I just wanted to point out the fact that Knives created a religion. Like, this is a religion he has. Like, the people under him, his scientists are called priests.
Yeah.
Like, how? I mean, I don't want to make this another shit on Knives episode, but Cringe once again.
His shittiness is bleeding into the other characters of the show. So, I think also. Do you guys want to go like by episode with this?
Yeah, sure. But since you guys were talking about world building, I also want to add another thing related to that, which is I never thought before about like a concept of like a sand ocean, but that's so cool. It's interesting. I never thought about something like that. And I just want to mention that. But yeah, we could go back and start off with episode 5.
I love
what did you guys think about it and Rolo and all that?
I love how Vash is the only person who like is getting chased by a jacked Hulk with like machine guns for hands, and his first instinct is like, "Oh no, did I hurt him?"
The thing falls on him. He's like, "Oh no, I hope he's not hurt."
And he just like gets up like, "Oh my god, thank God you're okay."
So with Vash, something like a new development for me is the fact that he's like so nice and all that was it was starting to annoy me a lot. But now it annoys me less knowing that he's like very old. At least he's older than he looks. Yeah. Because it's like now it makes more sense at least because he's been through it like for years and years and years and he's probably fought and like killed and all that and he's just like tired. That I think that it makes more sense now a little bit. Not that it didn't make sense before, but it was just like so weird. But yeah.
That'll be interesting to see if in his earlier days he was like ruthless or something and like did just like randomly kill people or if he just was always like just a really nice guy because of how fucking terrible his brother is. But
that would be interesting. Yeah, actually, you're right. Because if it turns out
like almost like the.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I love how all shonen protagonists are like these like, oh man, I want to become the strongest. Oh man, I want to punch everyone in the face. I love how he's just like, dude, I just do not want to hurt anyone at all.
I kind of like that about him though.
I kind of wish they put it into his character more. Like, I don't know if you guys seen the Boondocks, but there's this episode where like there's this really huge guy. And all of his, like, fighting moves just revolve around him, like, gently putting people down or, like, gently disarming people.
Wait, I love the Boondocks. Who are you talking about?
Like, you remember how, like, it was the scene where they're in, like, they're in, like, back in the civil rights era, and they're on, like, the whole bus trip. And, like, there's this really huge dude who's, like, leading, like, the civil rights march. And, like, whenever someone's, like, trying to attack him, he just, like, peacefully disarms them and, like, gently sits them down.
It's so funny. I haven't seen that episode.
What season? Hilarious. Was that season 4?
I think so.
Okay, that's probably what...
I would love it if... I just want, like, a shonen protagonist whose weapon instead of a katana is, like, a pillow. And his, like, entire fighting style is just, like, gently putting the villain down, letting them tire themselves out.
What's so funny about, like Robert's, like, fighting, like, uses his, like, belt as, like, a whip.
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
But I definitely wish that, like, Vash's character just, like, his fighting style just lied more and more into like the whole like him being a pacifist. Like it's like the gun, instead of it being like a projectile weapon, he just like used the recoil from it to just shoot around the area like a Ruby character.
I agree. I think he does too much running. I would like to see him doing pacifist combat. like very like for sort of monk like he doesn't.
I feel like
he's doing stuff that doesn't directly hurt. I mean, he kind of does, but I feel like there's like he does way more running than he does. Like, actually, you're right. He does do some cool stuff, but I think they could definitely like lean into it like a little bit more to where like it could be like sort of on the verge of like comical. But I don't know.
For me, one thing
another good example of this is there's a show me and Modi reviewed earlier called Kamen Teacher. And it's basically this world where, like, all of the teachers are, like, Power Rangers, and they're allowed to beat up their students as hard as they want. But the main character is just this one dude who, like, fights, like, by countering everything. And that would have been such a good fit for Vash.
As it should be, brother. But yeah, what are you going to say, Modi?
Yeah.
I forgot.
Okay. I'm going to just go through my notes for this episode.
Yeah.
Well, I do have some general stuff to say about episode 5. One of which is that I realize I don't really like the format of keeping the villains' motivations or like plans hidden until the end.
Yes.
Like I know it's adding tension, but yeah, it's just taking. Yeah, I
agree. I also don't like them introducing like major villains that are like have very strong connections to the characters within the episode and then resolving that conflict within the episode. Yes. I really liked Rollo. I said this last week, but I wish he was the main villain of like at least like this season or whatever.
Yes.
Like I think it would have been much cooler if the entire show was people being hurt by Vash's inaction because he doesn't want to kill Rollo. Because that would be so understandable for us, because we'd be like, I understand where Vash is coming from, but he's really hurting people. And then that would even make the conversation between Wormwood and Vash like way more compelling too, where it's like, because I like the conversation where it's like, oh, killing him at this point is like an act of mercy, but like he doesn't want to give up on him. But having that be like really challenged by like the more he keeps this guy alive, the more he like hurts people, I think would have been a much like better like dynamic for the show.
Honestly, that would have been an interesting like focus of the arc. Like Vash finds out that like he got turned into this crazy rage monster, and the whole arc is him like chasing him down Moby Dick style, trying to figure out how to cure him too.
Yeah,
I agree. That would have been really good.
Also, his design's really cool. I like the skull.
It's so good. Oh my god!
It's like a projection. I like it.
Like he has like. Again, like, the villains have this thing where they have, like, the perfect amount of detail to them, where a lot of the main characters are just so simplistic. And this is 3D! You can have more detail! You don't have to draw it!
For the villain of the weeks, I will say I'm not a big fan of the character in episode 6 that we get introduced to, but yeah.
Yeah, Livio.
No, not him, the other guy. Sorry, go on.
Oh, which character then?
The blue hair guy.
The Gravity Man.
Oh, okay.
I'll get to him later, but
yeah, I'm realizing that I actually have a lot of the stuff that I thought I had for episode 5. I actually said last week. So I actually have way more to say about 6. So I'm ready to move on to that. Unless you guys have stuff to talk about for episode 5, then yeah.
Okay. The timeline for this show is really weird, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I don't like the idea of the characters like hyper aging and everything. I would have liked it so much more if it was the kind of thing where like Rollo wasn't just like a jacked 5-year-old. He's just a dude who just like he's been going through this for like decades and decades. And he's just gotten mutated to this really crazy point. I would have thought that was way cooler.
Oh, I thought that's what that would have been way cooler. Again, if they had like Rollo be like a more like long like a long time villain sort of thing, to where we could also like it'd be cool if like we could see like bits of his humanity left, even though he's like too far gone. But anyways, like I just hate how they come off so soon. Anyways, it would have been cool to sort of at the same time see like either through like flashbacks or something of his like progress of like slowly losing his humanity the more they experiment on him and have him do like fucked up tasks. Definitely would have been like another cool thing for us to see from like Rollo's perspective too. We're like with Vash, where we wouldn't be like, I want him to be redeemed too, you know. But yeah, like that would have been cool.
Honestly, that would have been going back to the whole point of I hate how like a lot of this is like, man, this is good, but it could have been so much better. But like, imagine if like this isn't like the first time like Vash saw Rollo like this. Like he saw him like in like a early stage of this, and he doesn't kill him. And the next time he does see him, he's like even worse off like this.
This episode's so much weaker that it introduced Rollo and then killed him off in the same episode.
Yeah.
It makes that whole thing so much weaker, in my opinion. And honestly, I should have written the show. They should have called me up and told me I would have written the show better. I'm going out and saying it, you know?
Listen, this is the thing.
Yeah, Modi?
I know how to animate, you know how to write. We're doing doing quad gun rush peed, okay? Quad gun Z.
Centipede.
Stand Z.
if let's say it turns out Rolo's not dead and he shows back up in like the second to last episode or something. What does that change your mind on anything?
Not too much, because I still feel like they resolved the conflict pretty well in this one, whereas I feel like it would have been like a much better, like sort of almost like longer conflict throughout the season. But I mean, I think like again, I would like them to use some of these characters more, because I feel like there's more interesting stuff going on than the characters that we are going to see like reoccurring.
I definitely feel like we rushed the end of these characters' arcs a little too fast. Like, it feels like we're coming in at the end of these characters' arcs. Like, this feels like an end point for Rolo, but it would have been nice to have an episode for his like starting point, his middle point, and then his end point.
You know what I'm realizing, and tell me if I'm wrong. This is my theory.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a villain of the week type series can only be done if the series if the series is simplistic, and if the villains you're going to be having are going to be simplistic. But if they're going to be like complex, and you're going to be trying to keep it within a 20-minute episode, you're going to be packing in a lot to the point where it's going to lead to like stuff like what you and Matt are saying. I feel like if you want to do a villain of the week series, then the episodes need to be longer, probably, or something like that.
Yeah, 20 minutes is not enough. Sorry, go on.
I definitely feel like the ideal format for like a shonen series for me is villain of the week. Is like monster of the week, villain of the arc, where like you have like a string of villains, monsters of the week that lead to like one big villain for the arc, and then after that arc is finished, you move on to something else. Like if you have like just villain of the week, just leading up to like one final boss, I feel like it gets repetitive and gets very like. It feels like it kind of loses its impact when you have a new villain each week, and if the villain you're building up to isn't really good, knives, it loses the impact of like what you're building towards.
What's funny is it's almost like they have it in reverse, where the villains of the week are like more complex and like more understandable and relatable, whereas the more like permanent villains are the ones that are overly simplistic, but not even in a way that's like fun. They're just like do dumb anime lines where they're like, I want to kill losers. And it's like, oh, fuck off. You're stupid.
I want to kill all. Oh my god. I'm still waiting.
He did.
For, like...
That's what fucking Blue Hair said. He's like, we're going to go kill losers.
I'm still waiting for I know this is coming. I know for like there's going to be like a really big shonen series that comes out, and the main villain's motivation is he just wants to kill nerds. It's just going to be like it's like they're going to take Bakugo and just like remove all the interesting aspects of him and just make him a villain.
Except they should make him a hero. That would be even more interesting.
Oh yeah, is that the hero wants to kill all nerds? Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'm gonna save the world from the nerds.
The nerd's like, I just want to like not die.
The meek inherit the world, and I'm about to take it back. Oh my god! This is another side tangent for like future plans. Yeah. We also need to review like MASH, because from what I've heard of it, it's basically like Harry Potter, but instead of Harry being like a wizard, he's just a really jacked muggle.
Are you talking about like the Boomers show with the?
No, I'm talking about the different.
Okay. All right.
Damn it! There's like two different. There's like. Okay, Matt. If you know what Kaiju number 8 is, I'm gonna be super proud of you. But that's something else.
Sorry.
This is a different Boomer show, and that's actually really good. But yeah, go on.
Okay, so this is a character from Kaiju number 8. Okay. Yeah. Wait. Actually, I wasn't saying anything. Was someone else?
No. Kaiju number 8 is about a Boomer who wants. No.
I think we have lag.
Can I just run through my notes for the episode?
Yes,
5,
go for it. My brain.
Oh, do we? Okay. I'm sorry.
We have lag, and my thoughts we have lag, and my thoughts are just like super scattershot right now.
I apologize to the audience about the lag. Okay, I mean, you guys can like interrupt any of these points, or just like let it go. It's fine. I thought the beginning where the old guy was telling Meryl the story and scared her. I thought that was cute. I really like Meryl as a character. She's fun. The I mentioned this last week. Yeah.
Wait, are you talking? Wait, say that part again. Are you talking about the part at the beginning of episode 6?
The beginning of episode 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. All right. Yeah, sorry.
You told her a creepy story, and she was like, "Oh." Anyways,
yeah.
Also those two have like really good animations like consistently too. Like, it's great.
The character animation in this is so amazing. Oh my god.
I mentioned this last week, but Morningwood, or the fuck his name is, fucking selectively nerfs himself.
Yeah.
He's like last week, like episode 4. Yeah. Episode 4, he like slices a giant worm in half, and then when he gets to like Rolo, who he wants to kill, he like shoots bullets at him till he's like, wait, no, actually my gun is like also a lightsaber.
Just freaking snipes him too.
Yeah. There's that weird girl that was introduced like earlier, but she's also like in this episode. She's like, I'm an angel or whatever she said. I hate her already.
Yeah.
I don't know what this show is. Like, why do they want to keep on showing me children being edgy? I don't like it. I hate children. Get them out of here. I especially hate that girl. I don't know how they made me hate a person more than knives without her like, where they're saying like a line. I don't like her at all.
Okay, you know my biggest issue, and this is like jumping into episode 6.
We can get that was pretty much all my notes for this episode, but yeah, we can get into 6.
I don't like how a lot of the villains are implied to be children too. Like they established that like Wolfwood is like way younger than he appears. And I don't like that at all. I don't like the idea that like Wolfwood is just like a 10-year-old. Like, and I don't like the idea that libido is just like a 5-year-old. That drives me. That somehow makes. No, they established that they're aging a lot, like aging rapidly. So they're probably like. It's unclear if they're like 10 years old or if they're like 15-year-olds or if they're like 30-year-olds with a slower aging process. And that kind of like takes it away from me a little bit.
It's also like a weird complication. Like why though?
Mm-hmm.
Like they could be like lab experiments that you like rapidly growing them.
Honestly, the fact of them, like the idea of them going through like 15 years of torture leading up to this point is way more interesting than them going through like 1 year of torture.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the most sadistic thing you've ever said.
No, but they really want to sell it. Like it's much. I also just don't like the fact that like all these characters are like children too, because I don't like children.
God, can you imagine going through puberty in like 2 hours?
God, that's the real villain.
Yes.
I will say, it did make me feel bad. When Wolfwood tried to escape from the jail place, from the lab, and then I don't know what it was, that torture thing that makes like his body scramble or whatever.
That was the blue hair guy.
Yeah, Gravity Man.
Oh, okay, he was doing that. Okay, I see.
Also, this is like episode 6 is probably one of my favorite episodes so far, just for like the sheer mix of like animation styles, and all of them were really well executed. Oh my god, like when James Wood is like tripping balls after getting like his little super soldier serum administrated, that was so trippy and fun.
Why did they put them on acid trips? Like, what was going on with that?
Listen, this just happens when the main ingredient to your super soldier serum is LSD, okay?
Hey, drugs do make you look older, so that makes sense.
Like, you don't want to know what Captain America saw before he got super jacked.
Him getting Makima Crunch was pretty cool, though. I like that. I like the animation thing where he's like kind of like floating there for a second, like a ragdoll. He's all crunched up. I think that was like a neat bit of like horror animation. It was cool.
Yeah,
that was creepy for me.
I at the beginning of the episode, I like how they used the sort of radio as like a framing device for like lore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like in like a way that's like natural, and it's not just like a narrator being like, "There's a this or this," you know.
I also
okay.
I like the fact that Roberto, like, pretty much Meryl wants to like go and help them out and whatnot, and he's like, no, this is where we leave. And I feel like the feeling I got from that is that like he's like experienced and he's done this a lot, and he knows like when's the right time to like dip before you die, and he's like, this is the time this is the time where we need to go, like
listen. I've been in 5 different anime series up until this point. I know when things are about to go downhill, and this is the turning point.
No, I like that too. It's like good. It's like the characters are making decisions for themselves that make sense and have been established. I love that.
Yeah.
Although I will say that I kind of eye rolled a little bit, because it definitely feels like, yep, they're definitely leaving. We're never seeing these characters again. Like, this is like, bye. This is it. This is goodbye.
We never know. I would like it if we then followed them home and see them do paperwork and writing, and never hear from like Vosh and Knives again.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if like the show, like, this is the last time we saw them, and the show just keeps getting worse and worse for them, and then like the end credit scene for every episode is just them living the best life, just like doing paperwork at home.
That would be hilarious.
The show I want to see.
Also, I guarantee this show is like, episode 7 is either going to be the best episode or the worst episode for me, because they're either going to man up and show how this whole situation of this 3-way conflict between like the Sand Police, the Neon Mad Max Brigade, Edgelord McBluehaired, and this giant 5-way battle going off, or they're just going to cut to the aftermath. And I'm going to be super pissed that they do that.
No.
If it's just like,
there's no
like
way.
Meryl, I guarantee you they might try that. Like, Meryl is just like next episode is like, and that's how that really crazy epic battle went down. It was the most insane epic confrontation I've ever seen in my life, and I've changed so much from it.
I can see that happening in Bleach. They
I can see that happening in Chainsaw Man.
They're really like, oh yeah, all the other guys are fighting too, and you're not going to see any of the like results of it.
Yeah.
That's ironic, because Bleach is honestly the last series that would do that, because Bleach shows too many fights. Like, Bleach needs to show less fights.
No,
they half-ass too many fights. They half-ass show too many fights, okay?
Like, this feels like something that's like, man, this feels like oh man, all this awesome stuff happened off screen. You should have seen it. Oh man, this is all. Like, you just have Roberto like sitting on the sidelines with his like binoculars, like, oh man, Vash is doing all this cool stuff, dude. We shouldn't have Damn, I'm really happy we left, because this could have been so much worse for us. Oh man, the neon guys are transforming now. Holy shit.
What did you guys think about his flashback with his little brother?
I was going to bring that up. Okay, first of all, stylistically, very cool. I like how they did it, like an old anime sort of style. It even like muffled the audio. Mm-hmm. It had like the sort of old having all the dialogue be like on screen instead of like actually said by characters, which D is probably going to do.
You don't need dialogue and you don't need audio in your faces.
I also like how it transitioned, like once he got the grow up pill, even though that was stupid. I do like how then it switched back to like the modern style, to show that like he lost his childhood youth. That was a neat stylistic choice for them to do, and I liked it.
Okay, also keep saying, I know I was like insulting how I don't like the whole like rapid aging thing. But if we ever had, like, we should totally have this in real life, okay? I definitely, I want to live in a world where we can just give kids a shot and they just shoot up to, like, post-college years.
I want to live in a world where when you go through puberty, reality literally changes from 2D to 3D.
Like you just like when you go through puberty, you just have like a really bad acid trip, and then in like 20 minutes later, you're like fully grown.
Wow, that explains it. That explains the acid trip because he had to literally transcend dimensions. I get it now. Also, when he was a kid, when in the backstory, they had a scene where him and his brother were smoking crack, so that explains a lot too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh
Not
my
even
god!
Once, you're gonna get kidnapped by the weird like Squid Game guys.
Oh my god! I really want them to like have have an alternate cut where they like show what's happening, what the scientists are seeing, and we just see him like gaining a full dimension, like he's just inflating.
They really should do that.
They put him through Blender instead.
They just have an air pump attached to him and he's slowly gaining a dimension.
I have a big question about this episode, which is I just don't get it. What is Wolfwood's motivation to protect Vash?
Because he was assigned to. I think they told him to, but also they sent his like brother out to like kill him as like fun for funsy lulz. I don't know.
Because the way I see it, like he's only working for them and doing what they tell him because they have his brother hostage. But now if his brother's there and his brother's in danger, why would you care about protecting Vash when all you really care about is your brother? You're only protecting Vash to protect your brother, so just go and protect your brother and leave. You know?
I feel like at this point, like Wolfwood is like I feel like he's attached to Vash at this point. Like he kind of has a sort of liking of this whole like naive innocence thing going for him.
Mm. Okay, I can see that. I feel like I feel like it hasn't been established enough for me, but I can see it, and yeah, I can go with that. I see it. Yeah.
I still don't know. I can't agree to that yet because I don't even know what they wanted him to do necessarily, or what like the organization's doing right now by having his like brothers show up.
Because they made it like such a pointed thing about like how he has to choose between Vash and his brother. It's like, well, why does he have? But what is his reason to choose between Vash and his brother, who like he literally went through torture for? Like, what is the choice? I'm so confused.
I also love how they just blatantly went against their side of the deal too.
True. Yeah, exactly. It's like the moment you see your brother pulling up to like a fully armed battleship, you should be like, okay, the deal is off, and you know all I have to do is protect my brother. You know.
Yeah.
I think it's like more so thematic because last episode, fuck.
Actually, I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Who has the more stupidly awesome weapon, Wolfwood or his brother? Would you guys rather have 8-foot tall cross laser machine gun bazooka, or would you rather have dual wielding double machine guns?
They're both so perfectly stupid that's hard to say.
I would rather have the dual wielding double machine guns because I think it's just more efficient and it would work better. But what's cooler is obviously Wolfwood's. Like I don't even think that's a competition.
Awesome. My only critique of it is I wish it turned into a Buster Sword.
Who knows? Let's see. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the thing with
maybe they're watching this.
I hope.
Yeah, they're animating as
exactly. Imagine the anime.
Okay, you see, that is something I would so it works because it's 3D, but that is something I would totally do that. If someone like mentioned like, oh man, wouldn't it be awesome if a main character just like grew a Buster Sword out of nowhere? I wouldn't crunch my animators to do that, but I would definitely do that myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. I think that the is thematically saying that Woody Allen here is a hypocrite, because like last episode he spent all about like, oh, how you need to like kill your friend here because he's like, too far gone or whatever. and like that's his whole like philosophy or whatever. Whereas his entire motivation is to like keep alive his brother, which directly goes against what he was doing with Rollo last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is all building into proving Vash's point, like his arc.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, like, okay, so now you see why I am the way I am, Wolfwood. And I think what we kind of want, we're not going to end up getting from Vash, which is like a character arc where he realizes, oh, maybe this isn't the way to go. I think this is the kind of story where it's a flat arc and he's supposed to convince everyone that his way is the way to go.
That's why Rollo would have been a good villain, because like if they had it so that like his pacifism was causing other people to die, it's like a sort of thing where you have to like realize like how much do I want to save this person if it's just going to kill more people. Like I think it would have been great if the entire season was challenging his whole philosophy, but no, that's not what it's about.
I don't necessarily mind. I feel as long as the show puts up a good fight against his viewpoint, which I don't think it has so far. I won't mind him having a like, you know, him being the one to like be like, hey, this is how everything should be done, you know. But we'll see, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, but it's more interesting to see it challenge. Is what I'm saying. Like that couldn't be the conclusion. Be like, he's right. You should save someone, like no matter what or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like them being like, well, like what about this scenario? What about this scenario? It's like the whole like thing with the trolley problem, right? It like sounds so easy at first, but then you start adding in variables. Like, what if you like personally had to push the person onto the tracks to stop it? Like that's when it becomes funny, you know.
Everyone knows for the trolley problem, if you just take out your cross-shade laser cannon and blow up the trolley, everything works fine.
But what about the people in the trolley?
That's not a you problem.
I will say I'm optimistic because I feel like at this point we're at the midpoint of the show, and I feel like we're about to get like they're making the strongest point for Vash's point. So now if we're going to the second half, I would hope that now they're gonna like start breaking down his you know, his values, but we'll see. I guess.
I think they had opportunities to do that like previously a lot more, and they like I don't think they did the best that they could with it, which is like a bit unfortunate, but I'm still like willing to see what they say too, because it's not like it's been terrible so far. Like there's like a lot of good like writing choices in here. It's just like, you know, it's so annoying to like look back and be like, oh, but it could have been so much better.
Yes.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can see that.
I laughed when the ship started heading to the orphanage.
Yeah. Oh my god, we're all gonna become orphans.
No, it's just like the most. It's like in a cartoon. We're like, oh no, the meteor's gonna fall directly onto the blind orphans.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. What did
and
you guys
right when they
actually...
open up their own puppy hospital wing.
Yeah, right next to it. The blind orphan puppies too.
What did you guys think about the desert pirates? Like, I really liked their character design. Like,
Me too.
It feels like they would fit in like Breath of the Wild or something, you know?
They were cool, but so tacked on. Like towards the end, it would have been so much better if this episode was like 40 minutes, and we at least got some.
Okay.
Like if we had like a scene where Meryl and Roberto were captured by them, and we actually got to like learn what their whole deal was. That way, like the sort of three-way at the end would have been like a little bit more, because like right now it's like there's all these men who are gonna choose to kill, but we don't know anything about like two of the factions that they like showed us. Like
I would have loved it as soon as they like Roberto, like literally the scene after Roberto and Meryl like split off, they got captured by those guys. Like they were just waiting for them at the they were just waiting for them at the train station.
No, it's like Meryl's like, no, we have to go back, and then as soon as she says that, it cuts to them like both tied to like the front of like the cars that are going. And, like Roberta's just like, I told you. I liked their designs. I think it's unfortunate that these episodes are 20 minutes and we know nothing about them other than just like very It
I
just,
mean, my
Tecton.
my
They're like
assumption
if
about it was
if
that
they're like
my assumption about it was that we were going to find out about them in the next
Probably,
episode
yeah.
more. For
It's
me,
just
I
as
didn't.
it stands.
It wasn't a problem for me, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, for me, it was like something to build tension, and it worked. I guess, yeah.
they're like if the main villain of Mad Max was into EDM.
I would actually prefer an EDM version of Mad Max. That would be cool. EDM
Oh my
futuristic. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I don't know how much more you guys have to say about the episode, but I have
still have a
one
rant
more
prepared.
thing to say
Sorry, go
about
on.
episode
Yeah.
6. Yeah. You can go, but yeah, I'll just say this last thing.
Yeah.
About episode 6. This planet really needs gun control.
Yeah.
Desperately. Because like, what is like? This is just lawless. This is just this is unreal. You know, all those poor passengers on that ship are now in like a 5-way standoff. Like,
People get into like gunfights more than they do take showers.
yeah.
There are more bullets than there's water on this planet.
Very like Borderlands-esque.
Okay, what do you think was the first priority? Getting their guns in order or getting their water in order?
Guns. I doubt
Probably
they even
guns.
brought water.
Definitely guns. Obviously, it's guns.
If someone gets thirsty, they'll just shoot him.
Like, if you're thirsty, you can just eat lead.
It's probably got water in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, what were you gonna say, Matt?
Okay, the fucking magnet guy. I hate him. Discount Magneto. I hate him so much.
Wait, who's that?
The
Magnet
blue
guy?
hair guy.
Oh, okay.
The man's literally dissed his hair. He's like, "Don't talk about my hair." He's so edgy without like, while being
I
such
actually like him.
an like stereotypical anime villain. I hate it.
I
I
like
swear
it.
to God, the closer you get to knives, the more insufferable you become.
He's
I
such
think
a
this is where I'm
fucking
gonna be
loser.
different. I think this is where I'm gonna be different from you guys. I actually like him because, like,
Why?
because he's funny.
It's not framed as like a joke though. They want you to take him seriously for some reason.
I don't. I
Okay,
mean,
if he played his character as like a super,
I know,
yeah,
I
sorry,
know
yeah.
I know he takes himself seriously, but I think it's funny. Like, if I saw someone like that in real life, and I've seen people like that in real life, it's funny. Like,
No,
and
my
I like
problem
him.
is the show takes him seriously. The framing around the show takes him seriously. They play very serious music. If he was like sort of like a Draco Malfoy guy who was like talks up a big game, he's like, I hate the insufferable, impure people and the fucking losers and cringe normies. If like after that, like Wormwood was like, yeah, and your fucking stupid blue hair, and he's like, no, it's not. Like something really fucking like immature. Like, just,
Yeah, but that's funny because it's like, are you serious? Like, you just had a tantrum over here. I don't know. For me, I like it.
But he didn't have
I
like
like
a
him.
tantrum though. It was just like, don't talk about my, like as if it was like a serious threat. I didn't like the framing of it at all. The show treats him seriously when he's so ridiculous.
I like him ironically, but I dislike him seriously.
I think, yeah.
He goes on
I feel
an
like
as scripted anime rant. If you told an AI to generate like an anime villain rant, his exact script would come out. I'm so tired of these characters because they're in every single fucking show. Show me a shonen anime that doesn't have like his exact fucking speech in it. I hate him so much.
Oh my God. You're like just paying yourself as the biggest JoJo's fan right now.
You know what? Okay, you know what I just realized? I just introspected a little, and I realized I'm really just a huge meathead because the reason I really like him is because he's strong and his power is cool.
He hits stuff hard and good. So he good.
Discount
Yeah.
Magneto. You guys,
Yeah.
your media analysis is he looks cool and that's good
Yeah.
for me. And you know what? That's great. I'm really happy that for you guys. I'm really happy. Okay.
Listen, he doesn't. He's like. He not only looks cool, he hits stuff good. Like, can you hit stuff good?
He's so generic they use the stock sound effect when he uses his power. He's that generic.
Oh my God.
I've used that sound effect in my own editing. It's I would have been I have so much respect if they used like the bruh sound effect heavily edited like they did in Fire Force.
No, they had like the oof sound effect from like Minecraft, not Minecraft, like Roblox. Every time he like forces someone to the ground.
I like Bug Girl's design, and that's like the only thing going for her. I
agree.
I would hate her otherwise. I like her. I like how when she controls them, like you can see like her eyes like moving around.
She feels like a discount Knives.
You know what she feels like? She feels like a discount version of the little girl who was swallowing knives.
Yeah, right? That's
like, you know, the first little girl you said you hated.
Yeah.
She feels like a. She feels like a model swap version of her.
Knives is already a discount of like a person, like, and then you have that. The second girl's like a discount of Knives, and then you have this girl as a discount of her.
I'm just picturing like the pitch meeting for like Knives' character, and it's just like he has 1,000,000 knives. But what's his personality? 1,000,000
I don't
knives.
think you heard me correctly, sir. He's got 1,000,000 knives.
But what's his personality? 1,000,000 knives.
I just think these I don't like these main villains. They're so so predictable and unlikable. I don't like them
he
at
has
all.
1,000,000 knives. I don't know why that's so funny to me. Like
he has.
Oh man.
Like how many
man,
knives?
That's a lot of knives.
Like how many knives does the Joker have? Okay, like 2, maybe 3. Like Gus Fring didn't even have what? Like he barely had a switchblade. The Emperor Palpatine, no knives. Okay.
It reminds me of the meme with the like a billion lions versus the sun. And like you have people who are like actually analyzing it's like the sun would obviously like what are the fucking lions gonna do against the sun? And then people are just like, I don't know.
It's a billion lions.
Yeah.
It's a billion lions. Though.
I agree.
Like, you know how much damage a single lion can do?
That's so funny. I think I just got introduced to like the best concept ever. Just a lot of one thing.
Fun fact, there's an entire animated rock music video based on that exact concept and exact question, and it's amazing.
I think that these minor villains, I don't like how the show thinks it's cool with its villains. It's not cool with its villains. Be a silly, stupid show that I want you to be. I don't want I like your villains of the week, which is why it's doubly frustrating because I feel like they have better villains. It's just they like choose the worst cards in their deck to be like the main ones.
You see, I will say this. I don't think the main villains are great, but I think they're way better than the My Hero Academia villains. Because they never, they never try to shoehorn in, oh man, look how sad and sympathetic these guys are. Oh man, they aren't that bad. Oh man, look at how tragic they are. The writers understand that these are villains, and they don't, try to contradict that.
They're not fun Disney villains though. They're just kind of pretentious and annoying. It feels almost like the show has a point. I guess I don't know. They all remind me of Light Yagami.
They're
except
less
that show
fun.
Was all about critiquing them. Yeah, go on.
They're less fun versions of Light Yagami.
Exactly.
They're Light Yagami wannabes. Let me say that.
Yeah. It's like they watch Death Note and they're like, I'm. But all of them say that, and they're also 10 years old.
I'm Justice.
Oh God.
Anything else you guys have to say?
I think I'm good.
Matt?
That's my main stuff. I like the cool horror stuff. I like the design on the gas mask people. Honestly, with the science thing, I kind of wish they were a bit more faceless and a bit more mysterious. I think you could really play with the whole religious aspect of it. maybe the way that they like move around is almost like or the way they do things is like so mysterious and like almost supernatural, even though they're using science, that people like we get to see why people mistake them as a religion.
Yeah,
because like of the way they like operate. I think that would be cool if like we as an audience got to see that experience.
Yeah, that's true.
They were like, are they actually like demons or something? Like, but no, they are just like scientists.
That would be interesting.
But like the fact that like we know immediately, like as soon as they're introduced, is kind of disappointing.
One thing I'll say is the more I watch this, the more I'm interested in watching the original Trigun because I want to see how different it is.
I know, right?
That's a good
Seriously.
point.
Yeah. As for me, I don't. Yeah, like I said,
Anything else?
I don't really have anything else to say. I'll just give my rating. I would give for 5 and 6. I would say I'll give it like a 7.5. I would say.
It's fair.
I give it a 8 out of 10 for me personally. Like I loved a lot of it had some really good action. I think it had a lot of good like interesting world building, and I think I really liked the character interactions. But I just think the whole like them being like the implication that they could be a lot younger than they appear kind of takes me out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Audience, if there's one takeaway from all this, children are awful.
Yes, stop having them.
Stop it. We don't need them anymore. In fact, I can't wait till we have technology that super ages people.
Yeah.
So I don't have to like look at annoying children doing like a sadistic laugh and being like, haha.
I can't wait till the technology.
Kevin McAllister looking. Anyway.
Sorry. I can't wait till the technology that will help me to transcend time into the fourth dimension. I'm waiting for that. That'd be great.
Yep.
All right.
I think this. Yeah, sorry, go on. Oh, we were doing ratings?
Well, we already gave our rating. Oh yeah, did you give yours? You didn't give yours.
Oh wait, that's right. No, I didn't.
Yeah, what's your rating?
I think this kind of episode came a bit like too soon. These episodes are so short.
Yeah.
I really like this episode, as I was saying, but I'm probably gonna give it like a 7 out of 10 again. I think that some of the problems it has still bugs me, even though I think these episodes were like way better than the last two. And despite all like the stuff of like things that I think could have been, I still think that means the show is a really strong foundation that like and I still think they're doing really cool stuff, which is why like we're able to like sit here and be like, what about this, what about this, what about this, because there is like a lot of good stuff in it. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Matt,
because I don't want to be any low. I don't want to be higher than Modi.
When the words 7 out of 10 come out of your mouth, what I hear is 20 out of 10.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
Because that's so.
I mean, these episodes
that's
are really
so high
good.
for you.
I also like the art direction was really good too. Like, also, even the music was great.
Actually, one more thing I want to point about the character stuff. Like I forgot to mention, we were talking about how like the characters look too clean. I fear that my issue with character designs. All the characters are very simplistic and streamlined, but the environments are so detailed and so grimy that there's just such a hard dissonance and disconnect for me. I think like the original character designs worked so well was because the scratchy lines and the over detail gave it a similar dirty look to the environments. Now that everything is so streamlined, it makes the characters look too clean compared to their
That's so true.
Backgrounds.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. I agree with that.
Meryl's the only one that should look clean. Everyone else should look like they just came out of like a sewer.
Yeah.
Especially like Vaj, for like a guy who's just so. I'm convinced that this man does not bathe. So
yeah.
And he's also like 269 years old. So like okay.
Yeah. I doubt he cares about personal hygiene anymore at this point. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's been our review of episodes 5 and 6 of Trigun Stampede. Next week will be episode 7, just one episode for the first time. So yeah, thank you. Tune in for that and see you then. Bye.